while I may be in my kitchen, today is not going to be any kind of cooking or food tutorial, but it is going to be a video on how to clean your dirty and gross brushes. And as you can see over here behind me, I surely have a lot of them that need to be cleaned. So I thought I would take this opportunity to film the video that you guys have requested on cleaning your brushes. Now, I was a little, not hesitant, but slow to film this because there are so many great tutorials and blog posts out there that teach you how to do just this. But I figured because you guys asked, I would give it to you and I would show you, in my opinion, the 3 best ways for cleaning your brushes. Another reason why I wanted to film this, because I did kind of want to reiterate how important it is to clean your makeup brushes. We have oil and bacteria on our skin, and that obviously will get onto our makeup brushes. And if you're using a dirty brush, that can give you pimples and just cause other skin problems. And plus, it's just plain old gross to be using dirty brushes. So most people are going to tell you you should clean your brushes once a week. In my personal opinion, if you are only using your brushes on yourself, your personal set, you can get away, I think, with washing them every 2 weeks, especially if you spot clean, which I will get into in the video. And then of course, if you're a makeup artist or using your brushes on other people, you're going to want to clean them after every use. So like I said, I will show you my top 3 ways for cleaning, and I'm going to also show you how to clean your beauty blenders. So let's go ahead and get right into the first way. There are 2 options for deep cleaning your brushes. And the first one, which is very popular, is to use baby shampoo. And the reason you're using baby shampoo is because it is so gentle that it is obviously used on babies and therefore can be used on our makeup brushes. Go ahead and take some of your baby shampoo, and you can really do this however you want. You can pour a little bit out onto a plate, put it in your hand, really whatever technique works best for you. Then go ahead and run some lukewarm water, or you can get yourself a bowl or cup of water to do this, and get a little bit of soap onto your brush, and then you can go ahead and put your plate to the side. Get your brush a little bit wet and just start working it into the palm of your hand. And you'll start to see that the color will come off into your hand. For instance, right now, I know that you guys aren't going to be able to see it super well, but I'm seeing a little bit of the light blue eyeshadow come off onto my hand. And it's really easy to tell when your light colored brushes are clean because you will obviously see them start to turn nice and white. Then once you think your brush is clean, you can go ahead and run your brush under the water and just rinse it nice and clean. And then of course you can rinse the dirty, soapy stuff out of your hand too. Once you have rinsed your brush, go ahead and just pat it dry to get off all of the excess dampness. Then you can go ahead and use your fingers to kind of reshape the bristles into the shape that they should be. When it comes to drying our brushes, we actually want to be drying them with the bristles downward. And that is because we do not want any water falling this way into the, I don't know if you would call this the shaft of the brush, because there is glue in here holding everything together and we don't want that glue to soften and everything to fall apart. So you're going to want to put together some sort of area to dry your brushes where they can be slightly elevated this way. You can also get fancy and come up with some sort of contraption to hang them vertically like this, but all I do is just elevate them the slightest bit. So again, that the bristles and top of the brush are downward, and let them dry in this position. Your second option for deep cleaning, which is nice because it also conditions your brushes, is to do a mix of dish soap and extra virgin olive oil. Now, I would recommend using a natural dish soap like the 7th generation brand, but really any dish soap will do. And you're going to want to use a 2-to-1 ratio of 2 parts soap to 1 part olive oil. Again, using a plate, I am going to take, like I said, 2 parts dish soap, and depending on how many brushes you clean will depend on how much soap you want to use, to 1 part olive oil. And this doesn't need to be exact, so don't panic. You can always readjust, or if it's not perfect, your brushes aren't going to die. And just like the first method, I am going to swirl the bristles into the mixture of olive oil and soap So I make sure to get a little bit of each onto the brush. And again, with some lukewarm water on hand, I am swirling the brush into the palm of my hand to help break up all that makeup and make sure I clean those hairs nice and good to get out all the bacteria. And like I mentioned earlier, the olive oil acts as a conditioner for the brushes, so it helps keep the bristles nice and soft. Once that you feel your brush is clean, go ahead and run it under the water and just make sure you get all of that soap and oil out of the hairs. And just by touching it, you'll know when all of that stuff comes out of the bristles. Again, you're going to want to just take off any excess moisture from the brush and then reform it with your fingers into the intended shape of the brush. And just like before, place it so that the top of the brush is drawing at a downward angle. And the final technique for cleaning your brushes is going to be to spot clean. And my favorite product for spot cleaning is the MAC brush cleanser. It does a really great job in quickly cleaning your brushes, and if you are a makeup artist who has to use brushes pretty quickly between clients, it dries very quickly as well. Now, if you're in the need for a quick fix and want to spot clean, go ahead and take some of your brush cleanser and pour a little bit onto a paper towel. Then you're going to go ahead and just take your brush and swirl it around. And you'll start to see the color coming off onto the towel. In this case, I have some nice dark purple coming off, which looks wonderful. And then again, as you're swirling, you will be able to tell when the brush starts to swirl, I guess we could say clean. And you will also see the color gone from the bristles of the brush, which is another indicator that your brush is clean. And like I mentioned, when you use a brush cleanser like the one from MAC, your brushes will dry much more quickly than when you do a deep clean like we did in the first two steps. And again, you can dry your brush on that downward angle. It's not as important for this because we haven't completely saturated our bristles with water, but it's still a good idea anyway, unless you are in a rush to use your brush again soon. Finally, I am going to tell you how to clean your beauty blender. Now, if you have purchased a beauty blender, you may have seen that you can buy them in a set that comes with a special brush cleaner, but that costs more money and I don't think it's necessary. Now, out of the 3 techniques, the one you're going to want to use for the beauty blender is the baby shampoo. Obviously, because this is a sponge, we are not going to want to put any oil in this. That will just not end well and will result in a ruined beauty blender. And then, in my opinion, at least the MAC brush cleanser is not going to be super effective in cleaning this. Again, because it's a sponge, it soaks up your foundation and those products, so you really want to give it a nice deep clean to get all of that gunk out of it. Now, just like when you're using your beauty blender, go ahead and dampen it under some running water and get it nice and soaked with water. Now, once the beauty blender is nice and soaked, you can go ahead and put a little bit of the baby shampoo into your other hand. Then what I like to do is take the dirtiest part of my beauty blender and go ahead and dip that into the soap and just start rubbing it into my hand. And then I will go ahead and coat all other sides because usually I have product on more than just one side of my beauty blender. Then you can go ahead and pick up a little more water and massage it into your hand as well. And you'll start to see a nice foundation or concealer color water dripping out of your beauty blender. What I found is that after you've been using your beauty blender for a while, you will get some staining. At first, it's easy to get all of the coloring from your foundation and products out of it, but eventually you will get to a point where it's just impossible to get all of it out. But by using the baby shampoo, we can at least be assured that our beauty blender is clean and free of germs and any bacteria. Once the beauty blender is running clear water through it, when you squeeze it and you feel that it has been adequately cleaned, you can go ahead and run it under the water and completely saturate it one more time. and then just go ahead and squeeze out all of the excess water as much as you can. And then just like with our brushes, we can go ahead and lay this flat to dry. Obviously with the Beauty Blender, we don't have to worry about this drying on any sort of angle, so we can just go ahead and put it with the rest of our drying brushes. I hope that you will all find these 3 ways of cleaning your brushes as well as your Beauty Blender helpful. Be sure to let me know in the comments which way you guys clean your brushes, or also let me know if you plan to try out a new way that you learned in this video and let me know how it works for you. As always, be sure to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye!